Hey divas, welcome and welcome back. It's your girl Keisha here with another video. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are a returning subscriber, girl, thanks for coming back. So on this channel, we talk about savings, challenges, sticking funds, any and all things money. And I also like to, and I'm also sharing my financial journey with you, right? But I believe there's always a lesson when you're following someone on their journey. And I like to do a lot of like how-to videos as well, because it's one thing just to watch people like me, you know, every day, weekly, or however often we upload a video, but it's also imperative that you take something away. So today, and this shout out to one of my subscribers who asked me a really good question, is how the highlighter system works. So today I'm going to go over how to implement the highlighter system in your budgeting process. So if that sounds like something you're interested in seeing, then stay tuned. All right, well, today we are working, as always, out of the 90-day budget workbook, because sometimes your finances change like the season, girl. So I am about to close out the first week in February. And before I do that, I figured, let me show you guys how to use the highlighter method. So I've done videos before in the past on how to budget, how to identify your budgeting categories, all right? I will link that video down below. So this is the free printable that I linked in a previous video. So before you even implement the highlighter system, you need to first establish your budget categories, okay? So your budget categories are just a way for you to bundle your expenses. So like all your groceries may go underneath your food. If you have gym memberships and you do a lot of activities like that, maybe you have a wellness category. You know, categorizing your finances helps you tell a picture on where your money's going. All right. So once you've identified the categories, and in this printable, I've given you some examples just to give you some ideas on what can go in these particular categories. Once you've established that, the next thing to do is, girl, get you some highlighters. Okay, this is my pouch because sometimes I like to work in bed, I work on the couch, I work whatever. So I just usually have it in the pouch ready to go. So these are some mile liners, and I will link these below. You can get them from Amazon, girl. You can get them from anywhere. So what I've done is I just put labels on each of my highlighters. I pretty much know the colors by heart now because I've been using the same color scheme for so long. But each of my budget categories has a corresponding highlighter. All right. And the reason you use the highlighter method is so that your expenses are easy to identify, okay, and easy to track. So if I wanted to see, this is last month, sorry. So if I want to see how much I spent in personal, I could just come here, boom, 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 you know, boom. I don't even have to look over here and figure out the category. I can easily identify it by the highlighter method. The thing with budgeting, because sometimes it can be mundane, even redundant, you want to ensure you have systems to make it easy and smooth, okay? It may sound like it's a lot of steps now, but trust me, once you get in the groove of things and you start doing things more often, it's one of the most simplest things to do. So what we're gonna do today, as I'm closing out my first week of expenses in February, I'm going to go through and highlight my categories. And at the end, we're going to go to this workbook has a weekly check-in. So we're going to go in and just write down how much I spent in each of the categories. And you'll see why the highlighter method makes life so much smoother. So I have several accounts that we use money from. My husband's account, my account, we have a joint account, and then I have a tracker for cash. Okay, so all three of these and whatever credit card I'm using, I typically use my cash tracker for my credit card transactions. These have 5 expense trackers, so you have way more than enough. I could have done like mine's a credit card and Chase, but your girl has a ton of transactions, which I'm really working on reducing. So because I have so many, I kind of just combine like my cash and credit card into one thing, okay? So nonetheless, I haven't done anything yet for the month because I know I was gonna film this video. So let's just get straight to it, okay? Let's just go ahead and we're gonna use my category to do this. So the first thing I have is income, okay? So my income, because money's green, I have a green highlighter. So I'm gonna do income. Let me make over here look like something, one second. Okay, like I was saying, it was just giving me unorganized. It's still not like completely organized, but I could work with it. If you want to be an organized person, start budgeting, because once you start budgeting and you have a system in place, it's gonna start to trickle over to the other parts of your life that you want to organize, trust me. Okay, so income here. So typically what I do, because you know I'm quick with it and I'm just used to it, I would just go through all my pages, you know, where I see income, I'll just go through income and do it like that. But again, I don't want to confuse you. And it don't got to be pretty, girl, okay? It just got to be quick and easy. The next thing is kids. So I'll find my highlighter with the kids. Wherever my kids are. Kiddos, okay? So any place here where I have my kids, I'll just highlight it. Okay. Next, miscellaneous. Debt. Fun. Business. Shopping. My shopping sticker fell off the label. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to just, well, let me do one more with you. So I'm going to do my husband's account because he has a lot of different other categories than I do. So we have some debt over here. Okay. Then we have subscriptions. Subscriptions has its own thing. Auto, I just call transportation just so I can make the category a little broader. Household. Home, my home category, things like my mortgage, electricity bill, anything I have to pay to keep my home running. Insurance. Now I have two categories, two colors as it relates to food. Food is like my groceries and eating out is eating out, because for me, I like to differentiate the two. Some people just like to have one, which is fine. You can see how deep you want to go. But for me, you know, my story is I started doing this system because my eating out was so excessive. Like I spent so much, and it wasn't like we were fine dining, okay? It was Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, like, I'm not even talking about the health of the food, which is also a concern, but the consistency of going, right? How often we were going, how much we were spending. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the last two pages that I have, my Chase account and my cash, and then we can go on to the next step. Okay, so that's the hardest part, if anything. Now, what I also like to do is I like to just draw a line here at the end of my week, just so that when I'm doing my weekly checkout, you know, I just want to see, you know, how I did in the week. It's easy for me to distinguish, you know, without even looking at the date, when one week ends. So I always put a note like, you know, one. I am really top heavy in the beginning of the month. Most of my transactions happen in the middle of, the beginning of the month. So this is a lot to have happen in the first 9 days. So typically for the rest of the month, these things will trickle down. With the exception of like my weekly expenses, everything else will trickle down, okay? So now we have done the highlighter method. So one other step I like to do, because again, girl, if you're gonna do all this work, you wanna add up and see what you have going on. So I had this weekly check-in. So I'm gonna write down all my categories, and then we can go in and add up and see how much I spent in each of these categories. But before I do that, I've had these stickers for quite some time, because before I had my workbook, I was using stickers. I was like kind of doing everything to kind of figure out the best budget system for me until I created my own. So I have these stickers from Planner Kate, and they can work in here. So I'm going to do my best to see how I can make these stickers work, and we'll go from there, okay? Let me see. I didn't do any test run or anything. This is all live. Okay, so weekly check-in. It said weekly check-in before, and the only thing I covered up there was the place for the month. So I have these stickers. Girl, I have a ton of stickers just laying around, because I'm also an avid planner. Okay, can you see that? All right, so that's February. Then she has the number of weeks. She also has category, but these, you know, these do not correspond. So I'm trying to think how I can use the word category and let the rest of these things go. So we're gonna see. If it don't work out, we'll just peel it off, no biggie. All right, let me see how this gonna work. Okay, so we have category, which is fine. Now these are my weeks, and she has weekly stickers, weekly numbers on here. So let me see if I'm able to cover up. Girl, you didn't even know there were words there, okay? And totals. Let's go. Let's go. This is all about repurposing, okay? That is a nice repurpose. And then the bottom, I feel like I can use this sticker for like another time. Like we don't even need to waste that, right? So I feel like I can use it, and there's not 5 weeks in February, so I don't have to worry about putting in week 5. So I think we're good to go. I like. Now let me go in and fill in the categories, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have all the categories, girl, all we gotta do is go back, add up all the corresponding transactions, and write them in the week 1 column. So first, we're gonna go to income. So we're just gonna go to find all the incomes. Okay, next, groceries. Girl, this is gonna be a whole story time in another video. Next is subscriptions. You see how like the orange is so bright? All I gotta do is boom, my eyes automatically are drawn to the orange. Now for me, I separate gas from my other auto expenses because I want to ensure that I'm tracking how much I'm spending on gas. Okay. So that is how you use the highlighter method. It makes it very easy for you. Your eyes just, I pointed to my eyes as though you can see me pointed to my eyes. It makes it very easy for your eyes just to be drawn in on these colors once you get used to it. And then it makes it easier for you to come and do your weekly check-in, and it won't feel like it's a difficult task. So I clearly didn't spend anything on coffee this week. I didn't spend anything on my dog, anything on holiday, anything on travel, investments, allowance I did do. So what I don't have in here and I have to come back and do, I did not include my withdrawals, right? So when I take money out the bank from my cash envelope, sinking funds, savings challenges, which I have here, I would just say that I'll pull out $1,500. So what I need to do is break out that $1,500. So what my transaction should say is 400 cash envelopes, 300 sinking funds, 200 savings challenges or whatever. I'll do an update to this and show you guys when I do that math. So I'll come back and do that. I didn't spend anything on gifts. I didn't do anything on giving. So sinking funds and savings challenges, I will come back and fill those in. And folks, there you have it. That is how you use the highlight system. This is how I set up my weekly checking. If you do not currently have a budget system, the reason I love this is because it's just 90 days. Look at that. I have only 1 month left. 1 month left, and then I get to start all over again. So I know sometimes when you get a budget planner, you have the 12 months, it could be intimidating, it can feel like it's a lot, but I love this work because it's only 90 days. And I try to make this process simple, especially if you're new to budgeting and or you wanted to try all these different methods, but it can be overwhelming. You saw how simple it was just to put a color to a category, okay? Again, you don't want to miss a step, so I definitely highly recommend you go back and watch that budgeting category so you can see what expenses fall underneath each category. So again, our categories tell us the story. It helps us make decisions, and it helps us make changes for the future, good or bad, right? High or low. Maybe if I under budgeted, I will increase one of these categories or what have you, right? So that is it, divas. I hope this helped. I know it might have been a little bit all over the place, but I hope you got the gist of it. So let me know if this was helpful in any way. If you have any questions, you want me to elaborate on anything further, let me know. Leave a comment below. And girl, if you've been here this whole entire thing and you found this useful and you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to your girl channel. And I will see you in the next one. Later.